I'm Jacob.
I'm Yuri.
We're going for a drive.
'24 Chevy Silverado EV.
Work truck without launch control. Perfect level of speed for this.
Horsepower and torque.
510 horsepower, 615 pound-feet of torque in normal mode from an undisclosed battery size and 2 electric motors.
What do you mean undisclosed battery size?
GM is not officially disclosing what the number is, but kind of unofficially, it's probably just the Hummer EV battery, which is very large.
And what is the range?
450 miles or 724 kilometers, which is the most out of basically any truck on the market right now.
That is pretty cool. Why are we in the work truck and not in like that cool RST or something like that?
So this is the one that launches first. This is the fleet vehicle. So if you did want to buy one of these are basically all pre-sold at this point.
2 fleets.
Yes.
But this is still fun to review what's coming out because the RST is going to be different, but it's a lot of similar stuff to this. And it is cool to see an electric truck company start with the fleet and not with like the fancy ones like the Lightning did or the Rivian.
Absolutely. So if you are shopping for a car for a consumer, go to tsp.truecar.com. Discounted price offers.
Yeah, I'm sure the RSTs will be out there probably in the fall.
Just buy a regular Silverado, regular F-150, whatever you want.
Okay, so what's the point of this truck?
It can tow a lot as well, 10,000 pounds.
That's why you saw us towing that John Deere trailer.
Yeah.
I mean that trailer with the John Deere on it.
So we towed about an 8,000-ish pound trailer with a John Deere tractor on it. Shout out John Deere, love my John Deeres. And it was actually pretty flawless. Like we had no issues with it. The level of power that you got and also having no transmission, no gears to go through was really nice.
It was easy to drive. So when you hook up a trailer, it automatically goes to tow haul mode, or you can press tow haul mode, which drops down your range in the screen. Very funny, number by number to halfway to start off.
Yeah, so even if your start off point is 350 miles, from 100, like you're still getting a lot of towing capabilities with that. So all the haters on the Ford F-150 Lightning and Tyler Hoover's videos and stuff that have stirred up the internet and stuff, this truck kind of solves that and kind of gives you like gas-ish range.
And the range that it shows will auto adjust. So it'll see by how you're driving and like how much weight is being towed. Like it can kind of detect and automatically adjust a more realistic range. So what you like put right away is not exactly what it's going to be if you have like a lighter trailer.
Yeah, it could go up actually.
Or down.
Yeah.
So towing was 10,000 pounds, which is pretty cool because they had a 10,000 out of hay on the trailer.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
What's the payload?
1,400 pounds.
Nice.
Yeah. So everything's gone up from their initial assessments. I think it was like 1,200 and 8,000. So this can do a lot more than it originally could. And it also does something a little bit more in terms of the price when they originally announced this as well, because it was supposed to be in its lowest form around 39,000 US dollars. And the one that we're currently driving, which we'll get to at the end of the video, is definitely not that price.
Okay, let's quickly move inside. Can we have a short cab or is this the only configuration?
This is the only configuration.
Cool, because
Yes.
it's not a body on frame truck.
It's a unibody on frame, which I coined the term because, anyways, it's still a truck, but it's not like a traditional truck, but it's kind of like a truck, but it's not a full unibody. So that's why it's a unibody on frame, and that's my phrasing, not GM's.
So you can fit 4 adults in the back super comfortably, 5 adults, like very, very, very comfortably.
Yes, your entire work crew will be very satisfied in here.
Okay, and then this version, the back does not fold down so you can extend the bed, but in the RST version we saw, you could, which is cool, like an Avalanche or whatever it was.
And then you can also get the cool tailgate, which has like the multifunction, whatever that's called, pro
the step and all that stuff?
Yeah, pro
But we do
tailgate.
not have that on the work truck.
Correct.
And then I've seen some work trucks with no bed liner, which is cool, but I would prefer to always have a bed liner because I would be scared of scratching paint.
Yes. Oh, and speaking of bed liners and liners and stuff, in here, we don't have any carpets.
Yeah, it's just rubber liner on top of the bare metal.
So you'll probably want to get yourself a set of TuxMat. Go to TuxMat.com/TheStraightPipes to see what they have for your car, because they do have the Silverado 1500 and the HD right now.
All right, so we're just cruising right now, right?
Yep.
Let's get back to some power. Whoa.
Okay, so that was a regular launch, or whatever, acceleration. Let me go into tow haul mode, which you do get more power in tow haul mode. And now my range goes down.
I feel like you get more sound in tow haul mode.
Yeah, there is some pumped in audio, and it's kind of nice actually.
But it's not wild audio like it was in the Hummer. And by the way,
yeah, it's very normal.
they told us again and again, this is not just the Hummer. This is a narrow version. It is fully different from the ground up with shared components. So this is not a Hummer.
This is not a Hummer.
Even though it looks exactly like a Hummer from the rear of the recorder.
And with the part that looks like a Hummer, so our bed is a 5'11" bed, and it's kind of integrated-ish like a Rivian. So there was that whole thing with the Rivian accident that cost $40,000 to repair. I think this would be very similar to that. It is still separate, but you still have to kind of detach it from the rest of the body. So it's like, it may be very expensive to fix if you dented the box.
Yeah, that would suck. But yo, the front, we didn't talk about what's up there. Is it motor? Is it batteries? Is it wires and cables? It's a frunk.
It's a frunk with storage. However, it doesn't open as far as an F-150 Lightning does, and the latch is actually very low, so I did smoke my head off it. Here's a representation of that.
Yeah.
And I wish that would have been a little bit higher. And there are drain plugs and things in there, so you can have your front tailgate party or whatever you call those now.
Yeah. And then this is also first year, so things might still change by the time like the RST comes out or for the next years.
Yeah, absolutely.
And even for now, this is the normal plug that we've had on like every electric car.
Yes.
But then they announced recently, everyone did, that they're hopping on the Tesla bandwagon and using their plug. So I think by 2025, you're going to have a different plug on your Silverado EV.
Yes, and Ford is also going to that. Hyundai, Kia is evaluating. Every company is now basically going to go to Tesla standard, which is great for charging. And this can charge up to 350 kilowatts, which is pretty quick. But as we know with our experiences at most charging stations that aren't Teslas, you don't really get that power.
And before I drive, we need to find out one important thing.
What's up?
Can it charge itself like the F-150 Lightning? Can you charge the Silverado from the Silverado?
And we are plugged. Aha!
It'll be ready by 4:30 p.m. on Sunday, and today is Wednesday.
Yeah. So, confirmed unlimited electric power.
Yo, why did you turn the car off? Oh wait, it turned back on.
You put your foot on the brake to start it.
Oh, so this power button isn't actually a turn your car on power button. It is a radio button that looks like a power on button for every electric car.
Uh-huh.
But the RST does not have that. It has a black button that's a screen behind it.
Yes.
So if you don't like being able to turn on your car with a hard button, this might be weird to you.
It might be.
Neutral drop launch control, which I was told this can do. That was better.
That was a little better. Damn.
So I've been asking like every manufacturer, what happens if you neutral drop your EV? What happens if you neutral drop your EV? Nobody will give me a solid answer. Shout out Chevy guys for figuring it out for me and showing that it actually works and it didn't like screw up the car or anything.
And in case you're not familiar with the neutral drop, it's putting it in neutral, flooring it, and then just putting the drive selector into drive.
Which I assume makes the computer say 0 to 100 much quicker than my foot pushing it down. So good job.
Yes.
You know what we haven't talked about yet?
A lot of stuff.
The looks!
Okay, so do you like it overall, or should we just dissect it?
I love it. Overall, I think it looks cool, and I think as a work truck spec, it looks really cool because it's not RoboCop.
Yes.
And by RoboCop, I mean a full light bar across the front or back, which the RST does have.
Yeah, so I generally also do like it. It's definitely a lot more futuristic looking than the F-150 Lightning. However, I'm not sure if work truck clientele want that, but I think it does generally look pretty good.
Yeah. Do you mind that the grille here is like a flat black material or whatever? Because the higher trims have color matched.
No, I mean, for a work truck, this makes perfect sense.
You like the headlights though?
Yeah, I mean, it's not RoboCop, so it looks pretty good.
I saw one of the higher trims charging, and then you could see the lights going through the headlights.
Oh, okay, so on that, you can't actually control your lights with any physical switch. It is actually in the infotainment, which to me is kind of crazy.
But there is a quick button there. We'll talk about the infotainment later, because there's a lot to talk about. How about the side view? Does it look a little too Hummerish?
No, I think it just looks right. It looks a little ridgeline-ish, but, you know, all that stuff looks kind of like that at this point.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. I think it looks cool. Do you like the wheels on here?
They're definitely work truck spec, and they're very appropriate, and they are not Steelies, so yeah, they're pretty cool.
They're cool. And what would be the Continental recommended tire for a Silverado EV?
The Terrain Contact HT.
But how about the 24-inch wheels on the RST? Those were freaking gigantic. I think the biggest wheels, like I fit in the size of those wheels.
Yeah, they're absolutely massive.
Those are wild.
Yeah.
Okay, rear end. Do you like the taillights? Pretty normal, pretty like
Very normal,
inoffensive.
especially for a work truck, yeah.
Yeah,
I know I
and-
keep saying that, but like this is just appropriate for what it is.
What does it sound like from the outside? It's got a bunch of cool noises.
Yeah, so going forward, it actually makes some sounds, and then you put it in reverse, it makes a different crazy sound.
Yeah, I like them. So overall, looks-wise, you're happy with it?
Definitely happy with it.
Would you rather have the RST looks, or would you be cool as a work truck guy?
I mean, probably the RST.
It is pretty cool.
I'm not a work truck guy.
Yeah.
You see these hands? These are keyboard hands.
Okay, so you know what these hands are good for is actually touching the stuff on the infotainment. So we have the Android Automotive stuff, all Google in here, so you can talk to it. Hey Google, find the nearest electric charger.
We're in a low reception zone right now, and this is all internet based.
Just a moment. It looks like there's no connection, and I couldn't find the nearest electric charger in your downloaded map.
So it has worked before, but you know, that's cool. This does have Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. You can go wireless or wired. And for the most part on this infotainment, the left side with a bunch of shortcuts is always visible. So even though we don't have a hard home button, we can still almost all the time get to all the things we want very quickly.
And then because it is also Google Maps based and it's all integrated, it actually tells you your battery percentage when you're going to get to destinations and things like that. And it is pretty accurate, we're told, with the gauge, but not when you're towing just because towing.
Okay, and then we do have a button for our lights right here, shortcut button. And then next to that, we also have our brake regen button. So if I click that, it's gonna send me to
One pedal driving.
and right now I think I have it set to level 2 to on. Okay, and then high is even more, like a
High is aggressive.
full one pedal driving, which is really cool. So here, I'll floor it again and I'll let off.
Oh yeah. This is the most aggressive one pedal driving we've experienced.
And then to turn off the one pedal driving, I just click this button and I find myself using those top buttons by grabbing the top of the infotainment and just hitting it with my thumb, because the buttons are very tiny and hard to like aim while driving.
Yeah, they are pretty small. And then if you do get the RST, not work truck related, you get a massive screen, which is much larger.
Okay, but then say you are in one pedal driving and you're like, I know I need to coast on this hill. You know what you can do? Put it into neutral. And now I'm in a very high one pedal driving and coasting with 0 regen. And it actually shows you how many kilowatts you're using or regenerating, just like the Bolt, which was my favorite display for electric cars. And you can go through a whole bunch of different gauge settings as well, which makes it look pretty cool. And let me put it back into drive.
So yeah, it would actually be nice to be able to control your brake regen with a paddle on the steering wheel.
Yeah, but maybe surveys say truck people don't like that.
I don't know.
Don't know.
And as for the rest of this interior, it is very plasticky, as you'd expect for a work truck. It obviously is pretty cheap here and there, but the vents are kind of annoying over here, but they will probably actually change because the vents in the middle are actually very nice to control. So there's weird stuff like that.
And we got hard button climates because they still said they wanted some hard buttons that people liked. 360 camera, there is no hard button for it. You have to click it here on the left, which you can save, which is all right.
And it's all very high res for the most part.
And then we do have adaptive cruise on the highway. We don't have super cruise on this, but we have the lane departure assist, and that's also where our tow haul button is.
And what about these plasticky cup holders, Yuri?
We did hit up at Detroit Tim Hortons, and they had the weird old style lids, and it does fit a small cup just fine.
So we have 2 up here, and we actually have 2 back here, so a good amount for a work truck, unlike the F-250 Super Duty that we recently drove. Okay.
Pfizer test. World's first. 3, 2, 1.
Yes!
Full pass.
Also has the icon there. Good job, Chevy.
Okay, and then at the back, we can also lift up those seats and have stuff underneath it. There's accessories, so you could like put more junk in there.
Yeah, no sunroof either, work truck.
Seats super comfortable, right?
Very comfortable, like way more comfortable than I expected.
Yeah, there's no lumbar adjustment, and they are manual, but the steering wheel is power, so that's cool. And there's no presets, obviously, because it's all manual.
Yeah.
But I nothing weird about driving this.
No, and also the ride quality is really good. It's not bouncy. It's not overly loud. I do notice a little bit of noise coming in through the cabin. And then we also did drive this off-road as well. And off-road is actually really good too.
Yeah, on like a
When I say off-road,
very soft, gravelly road. Like,
yes.
And by soft, I mean not a trail.
But it wasn't like the F-250 where it felt like it needed a 10,000 pound trailer behind it at all times. This just feels very nice. It feels closer to a unibody the way that it drives, kind of like a Ridgeline, which is very comfortable.
And I feel like we couldn't get it to like even trip the tires at all when we were trying to launch it on gravel. Like, it does not want to trip wheels, tires.
I got a little bit of a drift going, like a tiny one with full traction off,
Don't,
and then
don't
it
expect
really,
don't expect GV60 GV style stuff.
yeah, then it really hauled me back in. But yeah,
And then this also has a power-based setting, so you can power tools, you can power food trucks, what they did for us at the event, which was pretty cool.
we literally ate tacos that were powered by this truck.
And then you can also set that so that if you're using power tools, it'll make sure you have a certain amount of battery left in your car, so you can drive home or whatever. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Okay, and then since this is a weird car where when you get out it turns off, you can use buttons up here to manually turn it off, like a little button in the infotainment, which is still kind of weird.
Yep.
And then you can also set it to stay on, so when you leave the car, like, it's still running AC even though you got out. And what's cool is, while you're reversing or whatever, if you lift your butt up and you don't have a seatbelt on, like say you're just parking it in your driveway, it does not shut off because of a seat sensor. It seems like there is none.
Yeah, exactly. So it's all like in the brake.
Because the Volkswagen ID4, if you lift your butt up, it would kill the car right away.
Yeah, which is a terrible car.
You just have to add that in there, right?
I always have to.
Okay, I mean, like, that's a lot with this.
Yeah.
Is there anything you think we're missing for this work truck video?
The price, Yuri.
Let's get to the price.
Okay, so there is a work truck trim below this one currently available for $72,905.
American.
There will be cheaper ones, but they won't be $39,000. And the one that we are currently driving with the 450-mile range is $77,906.
So that 39,001 had to be moved up because I guess the world changed for how much stuff costs. So
And Ford also did that with the Lightning as well, so...
yeah,
Yeah.
I guess that'll happen. So
And then the RST is going to cost about $105,000 US.
well, because these are like super big, fancy, heavy trucks. They're not like
With huge batteries.
yeah. It's kind of like a show thing too. I don't think you actually like are getting this electrical to be more environmental or anything. You're just doing it because it's like cool.
Yeah, pretty much at this point.
Okay, so this or a Lightning.
Ooh, I mean, this has more range. Honestly, I think I would go with this. Like,
You go work truck over like a nicer Lightning?
I probably actually would.
I don't know. I think this is cool because it reminds me of the Hummer.
Yeah.
I think the RSTs look cooler than any Lightnings currently do.
I just don't want to worry about range, and I literally haven't worried about range in 2 days in this thing.
Yeah.
Like, not once.
Yeah, I guess you're, yeah.
A part of that reason is I don't actually know what my battery percentage ever is accurately. I have a general idea of where it is.
Yeah, it doesn't show you until you shut off the car, but
But you always know how much range you have and like distance wise. So I mean, yeah, range wise, like this.
are we gonna vote for range?
What do you mean?
Like pick this over the Lightning because of range?
I am.
All right, I'll agree with you. Low 5. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, hit the notification bell.
See you guys at the next video. Maybe it's another EV. Maybe it's something with 600 horsepower. Maybe it's a gas car. I don't know.